Outstanding. Okay. With the staff here, you are coming off a really good year with the Cy Young votes and all, but you also have Herman Marquez and John Gray. Projections say they're going to have good years. How much do you compete with your teammates, and how much does that help make the staff better?
All the time. I mean, every spring training, and I mean, throughout the year, you want to be competing inside your own team because it's only going to make you guys better, especially in spring training like this where there are open spots in the rotation and guys are going to be fighting and clawing for it. It's only going to make every one of us better.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like your spot is open, quote unquote, or Marquez or even Gray there. But do you still compete as if the spot's open?
Absolutely, yeah. You never want to feel comfortable that you're in a spot because you'll blink and it'll be gone. You always want to be competing to get better yourself, better your teammates. If you always keep that mindset of being competitive, no matter what situation you're in, you're going to have some success.
Last year, you had a 3 ERA in the first inning, but as a staff, it was 7.45, the worst in the first inning of any team that ever made the playoffs. Good news is you made the playoffs, but do you see things staff-wise that can fix that issue just to knock that off the table?
Yeah, it's something that we're going to have to work on here in spring training and figure out and get cleaned up, definitely, because you definitely don't want to be coming off the field in the first inning already down. Especially at home and even on the road. It's not a good feeling. Your defense doesn't feel good behind you, and the offense, has to immediately get going. But it's something that we'll work on. We will for sure talk about and get cleaned up.
I know you probably would want it lower than 3, but the fact of the matter is 3 looked pretty good in comparison to the staff. What did you do as the year went on to make an adjustment to make sure that the first inning you didn't walk off the field behind?
For me, I take the mentality in my pregame bullpen. I have that mentality of that is my first inning, so I get that out of the way. So going into the game, I already feel like I've already thrown 1 inning. So it's kind of like I've already gotten the game going before it's even started. And that mentality it's taken me a long way. I've been using that since college.
Herman Marquez, like I say, a lot of people are predicting big things from him. I think one projection had him the 6th best pitcher in the National League. What do you see out of him that makes him such a threat?
The sky's the limit for him. I mean, he's got all the talent, all the skill level. He's got the mental drive. He's able to take on that huge load during the season and hit 200 innings and go deep into playoffs and go deep into every single game for us. So sky's the limit for him. He's an extremely talented pitcher, and it's fun to watch him.
We see the talent of John Gray, and we saw a couple of years ago a big year from him. Last year, still won a lot of games, but struggled a bit. What do you think is the difference in John Gray from last year to this year? What do you expect?
I expect him to go out there and do his thing. I know he made some adjustments this offseason. He knows what he needs to do, and he's one of those guys that's not going to quit until he has success, and he's going to keep having success. I mean, he's got all the tools, just like myself, Marquez, the rest of our staff, to have a ton of success with this team.
Tyler Anderson, good year for him, but if you can get him to the 200-inning mark, that's a real threat for your staff. What do you see out of him? What is it that makes him special, and what forward step do you think he'll take this year?
With Tyler Anderson, that's someone that I can bounce a lot of things off of, us both being left-handed. So we kind of go back and forth on what we see with hitters and stuff like that. I mean, again, he's got a great tool set and a pitch mix that works extremely well, and a windup that really throws hitters off. And he's got everything that it takes, and everything that we've been doing over the past few years has been progressing forward, and we're only looking to keep doing that.
With Chad Bettis, he was kind of the veteran leader when you guys all came up. To see him kind of fight through the injuries last year, I know that was tough, but what do you expect out of him now?
I expect him to keep doing his thing, keep fighting. I mean, he's a huge fighter, as we've seen in the years past, and he's a great leader. Being one of the older guys on staff, he's a guy that we all look up to and go to if we need to bounce anything off of him or have any questions. And he does it back to us. But him being kind of that veteran leader in the pitching staff is great to have.
If you can kind of address them separately, but Antonio Senzatella, a guy that started a postseason game for you, and also Jeff Hoffman, very talented guy that didn't do a lot at the major league level because of injuries, but you have to expect those two guys to be part of this thing this year too.
Absolutely. We're going to need all hands on deck, that's for sure. And those two both, we've seen the success that they can have. and the mentality that they have. So moving forward, I know they're going to be fighting and clawing for spots and for time on the mound and everything like that. So I expect great things out of both of them.
You see the power out of Senzatella, and he's worked on the secondary pitches. When you watched him last year, how close was he to being one of those frontline type pitchers?
He was right there, especially towards the end of the year when he was starting up again and doing his thing. He was a pitcher that I saw coming through the minor leagues. He was a brute on the mound. He battled through a lot of things and he's a force to be reckoned with. That's for sure. He's got a powerful fastball, a lot of powerful stuff in his arsenal. And then you got Hoffman on the other hand, who has a skill set that, again, sky's the limit. Like Marquez, his stuff has great movement. He's got a lot of power behind his fastball, so I'm expecting great things from both of them.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you very